Oamaru is one of the fastest growing population of Pacifica, and it's amazing to see the growth in our community and seeing that diversity. We all come from different backgrounds of the Pacifica, but yet when we're all together, we're all one big family. So my family and I moved down to Oamaru from Auckland. It's been an amazing journey for us. Coming from a bigger city to a smaller city, you can see how connected the smaller community is. So it's quite a nice feeling to have. It is very important for me to have my family and my children be part of this space, because not only is it helping them to ground their identity, but it's also the quality of life is much more meaningful because we've got time with people or families, and that's the uniqueness of Oamaru.
So Oamaru Pacific Community Group, so we do have two components, of our organisation. One is the Friday Cultural Program, delivering that to support culture and language and identity for Pacific families. And then the other component of OPICG is delivering a range of social and health outreach services for our community here in Waitaki.
Anyway, guys, the capital of the Cook Islands is Rarotonga. Okay, there's a bit of confusion out there because a lot of people always say, when we say we're from the Cook Islands, they say, oh, you Raro. Are you Raro? Okay, I like to emphasize, Raro is not a country. Okay, it is the capital of the Cook Islands. And as I did mention earlier on, the Cook Islands made up of...
We need the opportunity to be able to self-determine what our community needs, and we as the organisation, the wraparound support that we can provide to make sure that the support is fit for purpose, that it's culturally responsive, grassroots, community-led solutions, and that it meets the needs of our people. So that's at the crux, of what we do.
So throughout COVID, I volunteered to assist with running some vaccination clinics here in Oamaru. And so I became the COVID-19 navigator for OPICG. We were the only community provider of vaccinations for this district, and we were the only ones to be doing clinics outside of normal hours. And our goal really was to reach as many Pacifica as we could, but our clinics were open to everyone. We were able to, I think, eventually vaccinate about 20% of the Waitaki population through the OPICG clinics. We knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to be independent and we wanted to be able to run the clinics our way. And so that's what we did. When we ran Pasifika clinics, and it got to be sort of known around town that if you want to have a good time and get a vaccination at the same time, you should go to a Pacific clinic. We had 4 Pacific women from Oamaru trained up to be able to deliver vaccines at our clinics. 2 of them are now on their way to nursing school. Give people the opportunity and then support them to fulfill bigger goals that they may have, because we need nurses and we need Pasifika nurses, especially here.
No, use move back. Use like.
To be doing different items, different dances, makes us feel more connected to our culture. It's in our blood.
Last year, 2 meat work companies that are here in Oamaru, they started recruiting people from Fiji. So through the Oamaru Pacific Islands Community Group, we were able to carry out information nights or settlement information nights, because most of these workers were new to New Zealand and were going to live here. They were new to the weather, they're new to the lifestyle. When someone's talking to you, and you look direct in the eye. But back home, or any Fijian would say, would agree that to look direct at a person's eye, it's kind of disrespectful. So we probably always look down. And but here is totally different thinking. We came up with the information night where we help them to settle and make them comfortable, feel welcomed, and to know that they are included in our community as well. For these new migrants coming in, I put in the eyes of me when I came, when I was new to New Zealand, to Oamaru. That is always my thinking. I was trying to encourage them because I had to find my way out. But for them, at least I'm there to support them. I know, okay, this is what they need and this is what they don't need. And this is what they'll be asking. They'll have questions, especially coming to settle in a new place, just to make it easy for them to find those services and the help that they need compared to those days.
I used to live in Dunedin. When I married, I moved here in Oamaru. And when I arrived, not many Pacific Island here. We felt like homesick, because we only talk to our Palangi partner and things like that. So we met some women on the road, and then we asked, "Where are you from?" Something like that. And then they say, "We're from where?" From here. And that's how we call a meeting and start the thing. Get together our Pacific Island, and that's how we form the group.
And it was started up as the informal getting together so that we can learn from each other and decide from there where we go from there. From A to B. So first of all, we have to make sure we ourselves got to be strong, and we had to educate ourselves how to run the groups, how to make people come and join us, how to make them feel comfortable and call home for them to become members of like a family.
Our women are so shy to speak, to get up, any get together. No confidence. Even me, I wasn't. But joining in the Pacifica group, women group, we learn a lot how. If we ask you to do something, a speech or a prayer, you don't say no. You can't say so I can't. You have to get up and say it.
But that was one of the values, wasn't it, for Pasifika women? It was around empowering women.
Yeah, I think so.
And you really like that. It sounds like it, which is good. And I think as children, as your children in that generation, we watch and we observe and we learn from it. And I think we're better for it. Yeah.
To get together, that is how the community starts. It's the women's strength to work together, help each other, and even our children's coming up. You are one of them. I remember.
I'm Lesieli Halalele. I'm Hannah's oldest daughter and Soyafiafi's granddaughter. How OPICG has impacted me, they've helped me and a lot of youth with a lot of programs and everything with like Talano Aku and Tūmalohi. I guess it kind of helped not only me but others build their confidence, and it was kind of a safe place for us in a way. It built leadership skills and everything, and yeah, we're just really grateful for OPICG.
This is nearly 40 years since the group established, so it's something that we are very happy and very proud of. When we started up, there's only 5 women, and then these women started to come in and join in at the time to learn from each island's culture and accept each other's culture and respect each other's culture. And to learn, our children had to learn how to grow up together and respect each other. When they go out in the community, they watch each other's back. When they go to school, they know who we are and where we're from.
Our second generation and a third generation now is running the group. Thanks God for the knowledge of our second generation. They are running now the group. We are only just stay back and see how we do things. The whole Pacific Island was help from this group. The help is there. It's because they born it from here. We can't do it without God's help.
My role here in the church, I am a Tongan representative for our church here, so I also a voice, to the parish. But we use the church space as a space for people to come together. We love to be in the church, and if you say, okay, come we have something in the church, everybody will come, and there will be a feast after. So that's the space for the church, is bringing all Pacifica people into that space to learn, to connect, to build relationships, to know each other, and also help out.
The purpose of OPICG, of course, is to be of service to this community. We are a rural-based Pacifica community, and rural dwelling Pacifica have a unique set of needs. We don't always have access to the same kinds of resources that urban dwelling Pacifica do. It's the proverbial square peg in a round hole. And so how can we help them navigate a space that is not purpose-built for them, but how can we also influence in that space so that it is more welcoming to Pacifica, so that they're thriving in New Zealand. They're not just surviving here.
I think OPICG, we are so lucky, all Pacifica families, to be having them as a provider for all of us, and they're doing an amazing job, to be honest. They have done an amazing job for our people.
Even we come from different islands and different cultures and traditional, beliefs and all. But OPICG brings us together.
Our vision is really just to create a safe space for our young Pacifica to really be themselves, but also to embrace their culture and their language and really just embrace the values of what it means to be Pacifica.
It's a humbling experience to be able to lead, like not just your family, but for the whole community. And even though it's a huge responsibility, it's also a huge blessing and an honour. So I'm always grateful for all the lessons that, I learnt, especially under the umbrella of Pacifica. And I think your legacy will continue. There's no risk of the group falling apart or anything like that, because I don't think we know how to fail. We've always learnt to be resilient and to always work hard and to make sure that anything that we do is of service to the community and always for others. So yeah, Paftai te lava.